Morning once again. My name is Anna Puchlik, and I will give you a presentation regarding budget and eligibility. Yes, during this presentation, my colleague and me will focus on budget and eligibility, as I said. I will try not to overload with my presentation, so not to bore you, and we'll try to focus on the important things. All information which you will find in this presentation could be found in program manual for the second call for proposals. And as mentioned already, we do believe that all of you got acquainted with all the relevant documents. So let's start with ERDF that supports up to 80% of eligible project expenditures, and that remaining part should be covered by the project partner's own funds. No advance payments foreseen. That means that expenses incurred should be covered by own funds of project partners. Project partners' own contribution cannot be financed from other projects or programs co-financed by the EU. Value-added tax is eligible except for projects with state aid. Okay, now as my colleague mentioned before, project budget should be jointly prepared by all project partners. It should correspond to planned activities in the project and result in the achievement of project objectives. Expenditures in cost category 4 and 5 should be based on market research in a given area, not on any, for example, predictions. And I will stop here for a moment to point out that commercial offers are not required at the application stage. That means you don't have to attach them to application form, but during condition meeting stage, you may be asked to submit them. So please keep in mind to have them, to organize them, to keep them. So wrapping out, funding method reimbursement only. Be able to cover 100% of the expenditure in the project. Only 6-month reporting period available in GEMS. Therefore, financial and spending capacity should be carefully assessed by all your institutions. So, as we already agreed that each project partner must cover 100% of its expenses in the project, it should be also kept in mind that this amount has to be presented in Annex 4 to Program Manual, that partner statement template which you could find on our website. Now, eligibility of expenditures. The expenditure is considered eligible if needed to implement the project, was incurred and paid during the project implementation period indicated in the subsidy contract, does not fall into ineligible cost category. Unfortunately, I didn't find any shortcut for information presented on this slide, so I have to read them that cost is eligible if incurred in efficient and commercial manner, respecting the principle of achieving the best result from given expenditures in a way that allows the timely implementation of tasks, and was incurred in accordance with the provision of the subsidy contract, the rules of program, and it's applicable to European and national regulation. I will stop here for a moment to remind Polish beneficiaries, Polish project partners, that there is Annex number 5 to Program Manual with specific rules for Polish project partners. Now, cost categories. Cost categories are described in program manual in part 2.4.3, categories of expenditures. 5 cost categories listed on this slide are relevant for the second call for proposals. Please be reminded that preparation cost does not belong to any of those cost categories. They should be included in the section E1 of the application form project lump sum. Okay. Cost category 1, staff cost. Staff costs apply only to persons employed under labor law involved in the project implementation relate to gross employment cost resulting from the employment contract. Now I have to switch to Polish. Umowa o dzieło lub umowa zlecenie nie ma zastosowania do tej kategorii kosztów. I would like also to point out that employment of firefighters, police officers, border guards, so-called uniform service, służby mundurowe, can be documented equivalent to an employment contract such as appointment, designation, order. Office and administrative cost category 2 include operating and administrative costs of project partners that support the implementation of project activities. Examples of eligible costs under cost category 2 could be found in the part 2.4.3 of the program manual. Under cost category 3, travel and accommodation, only expenses that were incurred by employees of project partner institutions have a direct relation to the activities of the implemented project are necessary for project management should be reported. Under cost category 4, expenditures of service providers and external experts needed to perform specific tasks or activities necessary for project implementation should be reported. Payments to external service providers must be made on the basis of contract or written agreements, invoices, or cost claims issued by that service provider. Point of attention that employees of project partners institution cannot be contracted as external experts. Cost category 5, equipment, covers expenditures to finance equipment purchased, rented, or leased by the project partner necessary to achieve the objectives which necessity was justified in application form. Again, equipment can't be purchased, rented, or leased from another project partner. Yeah, a few points of attention that, as I mentioned before, that equipment can't be purchased from rented or leased from project partner. Also, the sustainability of purchased equipment should be ensured. So the next 3 slides related to ineligible cost. As promised, I am not going to read them, but I would like to draw your attention to few examples like cost incurred and or paid outside project duration would be ineligible. Cost of gifts are not eligible. In-kind contribution is not eligible. Consultants' fees are ineligible. So that would be all from my side. Thank you for your attention. And now I will ask my colleague to continue. So, Viteni, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anna. I am Vytenis Laukys. So my colleague Anna gave you a detailed presentation of the principles of budget planning and the cost categories. So I am going to present you forms of reimbursement of expenditure relevant to second call for proposals and a little bit some tricks how you could simplify your work. So there are two forms of reimbursement of expenditure: real cost and simplified cost option. Real cost, so as you know, so when partners report direct costs, which are actually incurred and paid by your organization during project implementation period. Where simplified cost options are used, eligible costs are calculated according to predefined method based on output or by applying a percentage. Our program uses two types of simplified cost options, so it is flat rates and lump sums. STO reduces the administrative burden for managing and authorities and beneficiaries, and as we do not ask to provide invoices and payment proofs, flat rates are calculated automatically in the application form and during the reporting as well in GEMS. They allow to shift the focus from collecting and verifying financial documents and to concentrating on achieving concrete outputs and results. Please be aware that any correction of reported real expenditure will result in a corresponding correction of flat rates. And in this case, controllers check will focus on the correct reporting of real costs and if there are no double financing compared to other budget lines. Despite the fact that the amount of actual expenditure will not be verified, partners will be required to provide some evidence that they have incurred expenditure or carried out about activities on the relevant cost categories. So, existence of staff cost should be documented by at least one employment contract or document of equivalent value. And documentation of at least one trip per project partner is required if partner wants to receive a flat rate for travel and accommodation costs. However, please be informed that this document will not be used to compare real salaries or real travel costs with the amount reimbursed using the flat rate, but to prove that the project staff has working on project or trip would take place. Preparation costs are planned in our program as lump sum of 2,250 euros. This amount is planned for all partners and should be divided between partners afterwards. Reimbursement of this cost would be possible only for the project which would be approved, and this cost would be compensated with the first report if proofs of delivery of activities would be provided. Preparation costs are dedicated to cover partners' costs incurred for the preparation of application form. So travel, accommodation costs, per diems during partners meeting, translations as well partners meeting, organization of events and some similar things. Lump sums could be planned for both budget options. Please don't forget to include this cost in the budget and prepare and save meeting agendas and participant list. In this fall, you can use one of two budget options. Option one is similar to the revolutionary method of the first call of proposal or previous programming period. So cost of external expertise and equipment should be planned as a real cost, and 20% flat rate of real cost, 15% of staff cost for office administrative cost, and 15% of staff cost for travel and accommodation cost could be applied. In this budget option, zero cost for this flat rate cost categories also is possible. However, please be aware that if zero cost would be planned in cost category 1, staff costs, payments for budget categories 2 and 3 will not be possible. And the second option, budget option, is a novelty in LTPL program. So it is when staff costs could be planned on a real cost basis and 40% flat rate covering all remaining costs of the project will be applied. The Secretariat cannot give you a clear information which option should be chosen. However, for projects with investment-related activities with a high share of external budgets where the project management team is small, we suggest to apply option 1. And vice versa. When project team is big, direct cost represents a significant share of partners' budget, and many activities are planned to be implemented by the project themselves. It can be suggested to use option 2. Each partner with on project may choose between these two options. Please keep in mind that the chosen option must be used for the entire project implementation period and couldn't be changed. Budget options in GEMS cannot be selected automatically. Thus, partners shall select simplified cost option for each budget category manually. And please pay attention and not mix budget option between your partners. So in this slide, you can see how the first budget option should be selected in GEMS worksheet. You should tick staff cost, office administrative cost, and travel cost as a flat rate, and external expertise and equipment as direct cost. And this slide is dedicated to budget option 2. Partners should tick other expenditures as flat rate. And then it will be possible to plan staff costs as real direct cost. Incorrectly chosen flat rates may lead to financial mistakes and possible financial losses. So please be aware. And if you want to get more detailed information regarding filling application form in GEMS, you could check presentation GEMS for the first-time users, which is uploaded on our website, or listen to presentation of my colleague, Nikolai Fadeev. Nikolai, thank you all, and Nikolai, close.
Thank you, Vytenis. So we come to the last presentation for today. It's application procedure. So to start with, that the application would be submitted through GEMS system. You can find it if you go to the direct link from this presentation, or you can just go to our program website and click on the GEMS symbol. You will be redirected to the GEMS application. You would need to create an account. If you yet do not have it, please check confirmation email. It will come to your email box. Sometimes it might go to spam folder, so please double check also there. because you need to confirm your account with this email. Then if you have any questions, any problems regarding GEMS, you can write us at gems@lietuvapolska.eu. Here we also attach links to the offline application form and guide for the application form. You can go directly through these links, or you can go to our website, and these documents are also available there. When filling in application form, please check carefully for fields that are marked with red asterisks. They are mandatory, and if you do not fill them in, the system will not allow to save changes on this particular sheet of GEMS. There is a limit for number of characters in the text box, and if you exceed this limit, so it won't be possible to save the information as well. Also, please remember that you need to save changes on each page, and this symbol for saving, it will appear only when you entered some changes to the to this application, and the system recognizes that there is change, and it will pop up symbols for asking to save changes or to discard them. Okay, next, if you would like to change your password, you can go on the top of the GEMS and click on your email, and then it will be possible to type a new password. Each user, it can submit more than one application. You can just go to the published call and press apply, and then application form, and automatically ID number will be assigned. And first, the application form, it will be in status draft, and that it means that it is possible to edit it. And when you filled it in completely and you're ready to submit it, you'll go to pre-submission check, and then you'll be able to submit your application form. Then the status will change to submitted. So most important sections of the application form, just to highlight for you, these are partners. So for it to create new partner, you need to press a symbol to add new partner, and there you need to fill in partner details, motivation, and also budget for each partner. Then a very important section is pre-submission check. When you think that you already want to submit it, when you press it to run the pre-submission check, so you will be able to see if all sections are filled in by you that are mandatory. If you would like to make a printout from the system, it's possible to create a PDF for the application form. And for budget, it will be possible to save it as Excel file. Initially, when you create the application form, it is only you, this particular user, who can view it. And you can also give other users the right to either view, edit, or manage your application. In project privileges, you just need to type the username of this particular user that you want to include to your application form, and to specify the role for them. Then for budget, as my colleague Vitanis already mentioned, there are options. There are two options how to deal with the budget. Which option, it's up to you, up to each individual partner to decide which option to choose. So it can be that in project there are two partners and each of them is using different budget option. When filling in budget, please don't forget that there is a scroll on the end, and sometimes you need to scroll to see other fields that are not filled in yet. For preparation costs, there is a separate section, so you don't need to enter information in partner section for partners. And then you just need to go to section E and fill information about project lump sum, how you distribute it among the partners, and save. Then the information on this financing, it will go to partner sections automatically. And when filling in information about partners, there is a section on co-financing. There you need to specify your contribution to the project financing. So it's a partner contribution that you, as 20% amount that you need to specify. If you will specify less, as for example in this example, then the system will notify you that this is not correct amount, and the system will specify the difference that you need to add up to your amount. So in order it to be correct, that's 20%. Our first call was quite popular, and quite many applications received, quite many users were registered in GEMS, and sometimes we receive questions, so what is the difference from first call to second call? So main points that no infrastructure words allowed in second call. Now we do budget options. We edit option for associated organizations. And in GEMS for state aid, new fields are added. There are two types of financing for the state aid, Article 20 and 20A namely, and it's also possibility to specify activities for which state aid would be relevant. And also that for the project, there would be just one work package. Of course, in the system, it's possible to create more, but the requirement for the second call of proposals, it's like maximum, it's one work package only. Okay, next slide about the annexes. So we made a table for you just as a help, and for you it could be as a tick box table that you would check for yourself if you submitted all relevant attachments. So first is project statement that we need to be submitted, signed by the lead partner organization. Then project partner statements are submitted from each partner. Statement that original documents are available in the institution. It can be applicable if partners are signing, for example, partner statement in hand and then attaching scanned files. Then they need to submit such statement on original documents. Next is authorization to sign documents. Again, it's applicable only if somebody that is not a head of organization is signing documents. Then statement on non-discrimination. It is applicable only for certain Polish partners, and it is specified in our program manual. Then next is SME declaration. It's only applicable if SMEs participate in your project. And next is a statement by associated organization. Again, it's applicable only in cases when associated organization participates in your project. Last point is other relevant documents, depending on the type of the project partner. This is only for Polish partners, and more detailed information is available again in our manual, page 61. When attaching files, please remember that we would prefer PDF files. but of course other formats are possible and they would be allowed to attach. The maximum size of one file is 50 megabytes. Yes, and okay, next. Next is the approximate timeline for the second call. As you all know, the duration of the deadline for the second call is 29th of February. Then the assessment stage will come. It will be from March to August. And we expect that in August there would be a monitoring committee decision on the selection of the projects. And then from September, condition stage would start. Just to tell more few words about the assessment, it will be in two steps. First is eligibility check, and second is quality assessment. For both those assessments, the criteria are indicated in the program manual. You can check them and also just to try to assess your application just by looking at those questions to see how, if relevant information is presented in your application form. Okay, so that was it from our side. If you have any questions regarding GEMS, regarding any requirements, you can contact us. You can read program manual, check in GEMS how the sections look like, and what is else to come. On 6th of February, we will have two questions and answer sessions. They will be in national languages, one in the first part of the day and second in the second part of the day. And on 20th of February, we'll have question and answer session for GEMS. And also there is a possibility to register for consultations. It's possible to register for consultations on our website. And it will be consultation with Joint Secretariat. And it's also a possibility to register for a consultation with regional contact points and that are from Poland. And you can discuss questions with them in national language. You can call them to register or just write them in email. So that's it from my side. Thank you. Now we could go to questions and answer session. And quite many questions and answers were already answered. And we invite you to think and to write more questions that you have and that you would like to hear answers from us. Thank you.
There is a question in the webinar chat. Is the purchase of a car an eligible project expense? This cost, Ilona, can you add if I missed something? But they are eligible if duly justified and needed for project activities and will be used during the project and after the project. And they are necessary to project outputs and results. So it's not like standalone purchase of a car, and it's not a simple passenger car. It should be used for specific, how to say, use. Medical for expenses, firefighting car, or specialized car for transporting disabled people. So kind of.
Yeah, everything is right. I just want to add that please remember that actually we have a call for proposal for small projects, so budget is quite small, and such like be aware that such investments will have a big impact on the budget. So you should balance investments with soft activities as well.
Ilona, there is another question about this programming services. It means like IT and creation of movie for visitor center.
We have no restrictions related to such kind of services. It's if such services will be justified in the application, will be included into activities of the project, deliverables, and clearly needed to achieve the project results, they will be eligible.
Yeah, there was a question about partner search, and I saw that Anna already inserted link in the chat where you can see partner search engine. There is another question about staff cost. Ilona, Vytenis, can you?
I can maybe read it first of all, just for participants to hear. So, is staff costs category only for management staff, also other people taking part in the project, trainers, employees or the partners? Can staff cost category cover cost of university employees of designing and implementing research in the project about joint medical research? Actually, if project staff will directly implement project activities, services will not be purchased for such for implementation of such activities. It will be eligible.
There is another question. The project is not meant for partners from Vilnius city itself. As I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, Vilnius city is outside the program territory. But if partners will implement activities which are needed and will be implemented in the territory of the program, in the relevant regions, they can participate in the project. There is no limitation for organizations outside the program area for participation. Yes, it should be justified. The partner should describe what activities and where they will implement. So if it is in the program area, it should be described in the description of activities.
Like, is it possible to purchase general purpose equipment for use in the project software, for example? So actually it should be very duly justified. The need should be justified. So we can't say is it possible or no. If you justify it, you will prove that without this equipment you will not be able to implement project activities. Such equipment may be treated as eligible. So everything depends on justification provided in the application.
There is also a question about own contribution and possibility to get 50% from Ministry of Interior for Lithuanian beneficiaries. Yes, it is applicable in this period too. There are rules published and they are also on the program website and in the ES bendradarbiavimas. And the direct link is based on the page 26 of the program manual. And there is also support for Polish non-governmental organizations. There is also a link on the same page 26. Section 2.2. Implementation in a digital form. But do you I mean, we also are doing this seminar in digital form. So of course, activities can be in digital form. It depends on your project logic and your planned results, how you would like to achieve.
But I would say that the achievement of outputs and results should be quite real in this case.
Yes, but if people want to share experience and do it online, it also can be done. It depends on the activity. Yeah. There were questions about some detailization description of the priorities. So I would like to know that program document and program manual for the first call proposal was like for regular projects. And when we were adapting for this program manual for the second call for proposals, we didn't want to remove all the information, background information, which is relevant for the priorities. So just keep in mind that maybe some wording can be not relevant for this call, but it's still relevant for the program. And your activities should be adjusted for this small call for proposal. Sometimes the difference between the services works and infrastructure is not always clear. I cannot understand the wording. Bigger service. Risk. Do we risk if we include bigger service? If this works and infrastructure and services and supplies, it's how they are defined according to public procurement law. If you should purchase equipment as works, then it's with works. If you are purchasing services and it's service, then it's service. And as already Ilona mentioned, or my colleagues, project budget is not huge. It's maximum 160,000 euro. So it depends on your scope of the project, of your activities, and what kind of services do you need in this project. So it depends on the logic and justification. We cannot put any ceilings for that. But of course, they should. You risk if you do not justify anything what you have in the budget. If you have budget separate from activities and it's not described how you will use something what you are purchasing, so you risk to get worse scores than you put. There was a question, can any activity be held in Vilnius or in Warsaw, for example? As already mentioned, it was a question about study trips, so it should be justified why it should be implemented in capital cities, in big cities, which are outside the program area. Because program intends for the regions, for the bordering regions, for well-being of these regions, so maybe its activities can be moved to the regions, also to bring added value for the regions. There is a question about mandatory events in the small project. Can, for example, joint health medical exams be such an event if a project is about joint medical research? This event should be in line with project logic, your activities, and we do not restrict what kind of events, except they are not management events. They shouldn't be management events. Like project group, team meetings are not cross-border events. They are just project meetings. Ask questions. Yeah, I see Laimonas wants to say something, please.
Just using the opportunity that there are no more questions for now. I would really like to encourage you guys, use the opportunity for individual consultations with GS because it's really useful. You know, you can discuss your really own problems, your questions, and I know maybe most of you probably here not the first time, but don't be so, I don't know, proud, or how to say it, just no, it's better to solve any issues in advance before submitting your application, because when the evaluation procedure starts, you know, these nice faces now in your in your screen, they become really strict, and they're really questioning everything. So it's better, you know, my advice is use the opportunity for individual consultations.
Thank you, Laimonas, for this encouragement. I think everybody needs these reminders that there is possibility to register for consultation with GS. And I would like to remind that there are two regional contact points in Bialystok and Olsztyn, and they are also waiting for partners to come, to call, to visit, and and they can provide consultations in Polish language, also in English if Lithuanians call, of course. And there is a question about participants in the events, if they can be workers from institution or it have to be only public guests from Lithuania and Poland. We encourage to have cross-border events, so that's why you have this cross-border project. What you mean employees of your institution? It depends also on the scope of your project. If the target group is doctors, then of course you invite doctors from your institutions, but you have to be also, how to say, creative. And Valeria maybe wants to comment what some examples of events can be trained.
You just told, so these two events, those two minimum obligatory events, they need to be targeted at your target groups. So that's an answer since Sigita already mentioned it. So we focus on our target groups in the project.
Yes, it depends how you describe your target group in the project. Yes, there is a set limit for preparation costs in each project. I think it is 1,800 RDF.
Yeah, correct.
RDF, yeah.
And in total cost, it's
2,250 euros. Expenditures and 1,800.
You always can check these amounts in our presentation, and also in the manual. All these amounts are clearly indicated. So check it as well.
Yeah, it's on the page 44. Where NGOs can get the loans to run such project? I think you know better on that issues, because we are not the institution giving loans, we are giving grants, and it is on reimbursement basis. And so we cannot help with this issue, sorry. About work packages, that there should be maximum one work package in the second call. Yes, because it is a small project, you just group all your activities in one work package. I think this question about how many projects the main applicant can take part in, we have no such limits, but when planning, please take into account your financial capabilities, your resources, how you will finance your activities when the project starts. Because if all your applications will be approved, so you have to start your activities and to finance activities before you get some cost reimbursed. So it takes, if the reporting period is 6 months, so it takes more than 6 months to get money back. So please take it into account. Because we also can, when we are assessing projects, we can check if the institutions, how to say, in the website, if they have financial reports and see, but please describe it more clearly if you have several applications, how you secure your financial flows. Thank you very much, all participants who came to the event, to this webinar, and please register for consultations, write questions via email, call us, and the webinar will be, or recording will be on the second call for proposals section on our website and in several days. And thank you, my colleagues, for presenting all this information and answering all questions, and see you during other events.
Gita, I think we
I
have one more
see.
question. Yeah,
It's more than
take it
6
over.
months. Yeah, please, can you answer?
Yeah, you will have 6 month reporting period, so you will implement your activities during these 6 months, and then you will need controllers to check your expenditures, and then 70% of your costs can be reimbursed as a fast track. So like at least 6 months for implementation plus several months for reimbursement, so more than 6 months.
Okay, so thank you very much and have a nice day.